Well, thank you for joining us here at Northampton Methodist Church. You might be looking at this at another time, but this is for the weekend of Sunday the 29th of September 2024. The passage for today is in actual fact James chapter 5 and verses 13 to 20. But I'd like to just read to you from verse 13 to 15. James says, "Is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. Is anyone happy? Let them sing songs of praise. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call for the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well, and the Lord will raise them up. And if they have sinned, they will be forgiven." The words today that I'd like us to try and to remember as we go into this week are these words: trials, triumphs, and testimonies. I've chosen today to reflect on these three verses from the book of James today. James asks quite a simple question. Is any one of you in trouble? Let them pray. This reminded me of a hymn, "What a Friend We Have in Jesus," from Singing the Faith, number 531. And the second verse talks about the difficulties that we face. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. James goes on to ask, is anyone happy? And let them sing songs of praise. Just a few weeks ago, during a retreat morning at Great Billing, we sang a hymn, and it's entitled "Today I Awake and God is Before Me," and it's by John Bell from the Iona community, and you can find it on the Singing the Faith number 139. But the verse that stood out for me was verse 3, where it says, "Today I affirm that the Spirit within me, at worship, work, in struggle and rest. The Spirit inspires all life which is changing, from fearing to faith, from the broken to the blessed." Along our journey in life, we may feel that we are broken in some way, and I like the idea of being a broken people. As it is our Father in heaven, it is He who restores and transforms us. In verse 14, James asks, "Is any among you sick?" Jesus invites us to come to him with the words from Matthew's Gospel when he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, weighed down, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." In life, we all experience different trials and triumphs. However, when we look back at these years that seem dark, we often recognize some triumphs. And if you are going through a trial right now, Psalm 23 gives us hope for today. It says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." In verse 15, James talks of a testimony. He says, and the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well, and the Lord will raise them up if they have sinned, and they will be forgiven. During my years of Christian ministry, I've come to understand that healing is a complicated area, and we may struggle with some quite difficult questions at times. But people have countless stories of testimony. And I'm reminded of Psalm 30 and verse 2 that says, Lord my God, I called to you for help, and you healed me. You, Lord, brought me from the realm of the dead, and you spared me from going down to the pit. And finally today, the Methodist way of life. There's a small pocket guide which you can get from any of our worshipping communities here at Northampton Methodist Church. In that Methodist pocket guide, in one of the sections, it's called Share. And it said, we share our faith. And on so many occasions, I'm amazed of people's faith testimony. And what a privilege we get to partner with God. God involves us in the task of bringing love and restoration. And in this pocket guide in the Methodist way of life, it says, here are 2 questions, and I'd like to close with them for us today. And it goes like this. How have you shared your faith recently? And what opportunities do you have to share your faith in the future? It's my prayer today that we may remember these 3 words from James that I started with today as we go into this next week. Trials, triumphs, and testimony. Amen.